All right, well, welcome everybody. This is the arrival back in New Zealand / pre-match press conference ahead of the World Cup game against Vanuatu on Friday in Hamilton. So we're joined by head coach Darren Bazeley and midfielder / attacker Matt Garbett. So I'll kick off with an open question, then I'll hand over to you guys to ask whatever you might want to ask. So let me just check this is all recording and sound is coming through. All good. So, Baze, 2 World Cup qualifiers back-to-back in New Zealand. How important are these games for you?
They're massive games. The World Cup is the goal. To get back to the World Cup for us is what we're striving for, and then to do well at the World Cup. But these are games in our way. So we know that we're here to do a job for these 2 games. They're home games as well, so we get a chance to play in New Zealand, which we don't get to do very often. So having this run of games at home is great for us and great for the players to be able to come back and see some friends and family as well as playing in big games.
And Matt, obviously playing World Cup qualifiers at home, how special does that feel?
Yeah, we obviously don't get to head back home much and play in front of the fans, so it's always good to come back and connect with the fan base and obviously perform for the crowd, and it doesn't get much better than playing World Cup qualifiers in New Zealand, so good.
Cool, over to you guys.
Darren, has everyone arrived safe and sound?
Yes, we had our last players arrive this morning. We had a couple of players arrive just after midnight tonight, and then one player just arrived just actually a few hours ago. So yeah, we're all here now. Yes, that's the challenge when we're playing at home. We've got so many players now playing in Europe, and it's quite a long way away. When some of the players play their last club game on Sunday, it becomes problematic with the distance and the time difference for when they arrive here. But it's something that we know and we're aware of, and the players are used to travelling and sort of landing, recovering and getting ready to play. So I'm expecting everybody to be fine.
Closer to home, obviously we saw Costa come off in the Phoenix game on Sunday night. Can you just give an update on how he is and what's his involvement likely to look like in these 2 matches?
So we're at that monitoring phase. So he was able to get out onto the grass yesterday with our medical team, and he did a bit of work there. And I think at the moment we're just taking it slowly, just to make sure that there's no issues from that moment in the game at the weekend. So yeah, he's not been ruled out. He's got an opportunity to prove his fitness in the next couple of days before Friday, and then if it's not Friday, then it potentially would be good for Monday.
And Matt, it's been an interesting month and a half for you at club level. Can you just we don't need to rehash everything, but can you just tell us what you've learned from what you've gone through with your coach and your club in the Netherlands?
Yeah, there were a lot of things maybe taken out of proportion in the media, as always, it was maybe something I needed, maybe didn't need to go that far, but we've always been on good terms. I've got a pretty good relationship with the coach over there, and maybe you'd seen in the last 2 games I've been back in the plane, started last game, so yeah, it's been good, man. So it's good to obviously be with the All Whites and then head back and get some game time with club again, and then come back on tour here. So
it's a bit of a different role for you at the weekend, a bit of a throwback perhaps to younger days. Has that sort of been part of what's been happening? Is that role that the coach wants you to play for that club?
Yeah, we played without a striker last game. Obviously coming up against PSV, they've got a lot of quality on the ball, and he used me sort of as a deep number 10 that can make those runs in behind. And obviously we didn't have the ball much, but there were still opportunities to get in behind and hurt them, and I think that's probably my best position in that deep line role where I'd have the freedom to drop in and also get in behind. So.
And just lastly from me, Liam Gilligan, you would have known him from Holland. He's 6 months younger than you. I think he was playing sort of, even though he's so close in age, he was playing reserves or you were playing first team. You've had the pathway under 17s, under 20s, gone overseas. He's had to sort of be back here grinding it out in the National League. What does it mean to sort of see him now come into this camp alongside you?
Yeah, obviously I've known him since I think it was about 14, 15, 16, and you know, we'd train together. We'd maybe be in the same team on the weekends sometimes, but you know, obviously I track the A-League quite a bit as well, and I've seen him been killing it in Auckland FC, and it's just really good to see, you know, more young players sort of come through and get the opportunity. And obviously he's been performing well the last few weeks, which has earned him a call up. So yeah, very stoked for him and another product of the OLA Academy to come through. So yeah, stoked for him.
You mentioned that what happened had been blown out of proportion. Was it a bit of a shock that it became sort of quite big news at the time?
It did, you know, it made its rounds around the Netherlands and then obviously to New Zealand. I got a floodload of messages saying, asking how it is and everything, but to be honest, there was nothing that really happened for that to, you know, get blown out. But you know, at the end of the day, coach makes the final decision, and he sort of stepped his foot down for a few of us, and it was just something that was forgotten straight after the game, and then moved forward in the next week, and you know, I was back training, came back motivated, and made my way back into the squad. So
what you were saying before was a bit of a silver lining to it?
To be honest, there was not much at all to it. It was just more, you know, coach's perspective over player's perspective, and we had a chat and everything was clear straight afterwards. So
apart from that, how have you been feeling about your season? I know early in the season things were going really well.
Obviously, you know, stepping up to the Eredivisie, it's one of the top leagues in Europe. You know, we've probably as a team been over-exceeding. I think we're about mid-table, 9th or 10th place. So, you know, as a team, we're doing very well. You know, you can tell when a good coach comes in, the results start to come in. And then personally, you know, I started very well against a goal against Ajax, and then, you know, started 5-6 games, and then was out of the squad not out of the squad, but not playing for about 2-3 games, and then, you know, found myself back in the starting 11. So it's, you know, it's good to sort of get these tests while I'm young. You know, maybe a knockback to get myself back, you know, kick up the arse to get myself performing again. So yeah, it's good. It's been good.
And Darren, the situation on Friday, the All Whites have been massive favourites. How do you make sure the team's not overconfident, not complacent? Because we know what football can be like.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's every game of football you play, there's different challenges. What we try and do is just prepare for every game the same. So whether we're playing USA, Mexico, or Tahiti, Malaysia in the last camp, or Vanuatu coming up, you know, we prepare the same. We watch a lot of the opposition, try to understand how they play, their strengths and weaknesses, and we know what we're good at, and we always try and concentrate on ourselves. So I don't think the players need too much reminding of the importance of the game, but we'll definitely, you know, just go through some of the challenges that we might come up against. And yeah, like I say, we are the favourites, you know, and we know that, but that does bring different challenges, but not one that we're scared of. You know, we're ready for the game.
Given some of the late arrivals you mentioned, will you consider holding some players back, not starting them, etc.?
Potentially, you know, we'll look at the guys that have arrived late today. We'll have training later, and you know, see how they're feeling. We'll never sort of put a player in a position, you know, where he's not comfortable playing. But I think most of the guys, you know, they've travelled quite a long way to be here. They want to play, and that's probably the bigger challenge. You know, everybody wants to play, and we've got that squad now of depth and competition for places in every position, and everyone's got a valid discussion around why they should be playing. You know, so that's the challenges. You know, picking that team and keeping everybody, you know, heading in the same direction. But we've got 2 games. You know, potentially there'll be some changes to the second game, but right now we're just concentrating on the Vanuatu game.
And how do you assess Vanuatu?
Yeah, I mean, we played them twice at the Nations Cup. They're a different squad from them, and you know, we are as well. You know, so we've had a look at them. We know some of their players. It'll be interesting how they attack the game. Obviously, we did a bit of work on Tahiti, you know, and then they went into a different sort of shape and sort of style of play in that game. You know, you played a sort of defensive, real deep block, and so potentially that might happen. But I think we're in a place where whatever the opposition do, we'll know how we can play against that.
Darren, with so many players playing overseas, what is sort of home advantage versus, in terms of conditions, versus playing like supporter fan advantage?
I mean, playing at home, I think any team in football has an advantage when they play at home. You know, it's just familiar, and you've got the home fans, and so I think it's great for us. It's a real advantage us playing here with the conditions and everything being the home team. You know, it would have been way harder to have to go to the islands and play these World Cup qualifiers. So that's an advantage for us. You know, and. It is what it is. It's tougher for the other teams, but you know, it gives us an opportunity to really do a lot of work. Not just the most important things are winning the games of football, but being here gives us a real opportunity to connect with a lot of people, connect with a lot of the fans and the friends and family that, you know, that players like Matt don't get a chance to sort of see their friends and their family that often, let alone those people coming to watch him play. You know, as all of our other players are in the same situation. So. Yeah, with great benefits playing at home, and it gives us an opportunity to use it as well for some other things as we move forward down the next 2 years.
So you must be quite pleased to see the semi-final and final of the qualifiers in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, like I say, we would have played anywhere. Obviously, we know the job. We need to win those games. We need to win these games, win those games, because the goal is to go to the World Cup and do well there. But having them at home, again, it gives us a real good advantage. Anywhere in football, in club football, the home team has an advantage. So, yeah, we're the higher ranked team, but also now we've got home games. So you know, those challenges that sometimes we face in Oceania have sort of been taken away with the type of pitch. And it's not that, you know, because you might play on a challenging pitch and it's the same for both teams. The challenge for us is that most of our players are not used to playing on those type of pitches, so it becomes a slight leveller and it becomes just a little bit difficult for us to play a certain style on certain pitches in certain conditions. So, I mean, yeah, having these two games and the semi-final final in New Zealand is a real advantage.
And does that mean then we see a slightly different way that you want to play because you do have the advantage of sort of the home conditions and you know what the fields are going to be like?
I mean, yeah, I don't think we'll try and play differently. You know, we're pretty set with how we play. But I think what it does, it allows the players to really go and showcase themselves. I think, you know, the difference on the last tour, the difference between the game in Vanuatu against Tahiti and the game against Malaysia at home. And Malaysia are a pretty highly ranked team compared to, you know, maybe a Vanuatu Samoa. But I think you'll have seen the way we were able to play on a good pitch. It just allows these guys to bring the best out of them, you know, on a good pitch. You know, I mean, Matt will tell you it was a little bit challenging over in Vanuatu with the pitch and, you know, some of the way we tried to play. We had to adapt a little bit, and that was fine. We're good enough to adapt. But yeah, these pitches will be perfect, and conditions should be pretty nice for us.
And also with the situation regarding Matt and his club football, he was obviously with the All Whites, and then you've recalled him to the All Whites. So you've not got any concerns about anything that's happened in that period overseas? No.
I'm in contact obviously with Matt, you know, on a weekly basis. You know, yeah, I knew everything that happened. You know, when you hear Matt talking about playing against PSV and Ajax, I think that's where we've got to remember the level. Not just Matt, but we've got Libby and Serie A, let alone Woodsy, you know, playing at the top level and scoring goals. So we've got players now playing in top leagues against top clubs, against top opposition players, and you know that's super challenging. So I think we just have to, you know, acknowledge that, you know, we're in a really good place. Some of our players have gone off into the world at a very young age. You know, when you look at Matt and Marko Stamenic and, you know, now Ben Old and Finn Surman at a young age, and it's difficult. It's difficult for them. They're living in countries on their own, don't have much family around, don't have many Kiwis around, and they're forging these successful careers. So it's amazing what a lot of our players are doing, and you know, they perhaps don't realise the potential change they're having here in New Zealand by what they're doing around the world. And yeah, so we're very lucky with the calibre of players and people that we're able to select in every time we put a squad together. Makes my job very easy.
Does it though? Some of those challenges about selecting a team, like what are the things that you're going to look for the most when putting out, say, the first team? for this?
You're right, it does bring different challenges, but probably one I'd rather have, where we've got options. So we'll look at everybody that's travelled and any slight knocks we have, like Costa, over the next sort of 2 days and make some decisions based on winning the game of football.
Darren, just on Wolvesy, you must have a lot of, I guess, friends, contacts back in England. Like, does he ever come up sort of in any of those text threads or conversations you have? Like, people, do you get a sense that what he's doing over there is being noticed over there?
100%. Like, everyone wants to talk about Woodsy right now. He's, he's doing amazing. What he's done this season, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. He's scored goals pretty much everywhere he's gone. But, right now with what he's done, Player of the Month, 8 goals in 10, 11 games now. This is something that may not happen again for a New Zealander to be playing at that level, in that form. It's hard, I think, to comprehend here of the magnitude of what he's doing. It's amazing that he's such a good Kiwi lad, and he's so passionate of playing for the All Whites, and he's travelled a long way and he's come back and he does every opportunity. So he's definitely flavour of the month. Everybody wants a piece of Woodsy at the minute.
Matt, just on your relationship with Chris, you would have met him for the first time at the Olympics?
Tokyo, yeah.
And what was it like? Sort of, he's a Premier League player by then. First meeting him, and how has that sort of teammate relationship evolved since then?
Yeah, I've known him for about 3-4 years now. Even outside the All Whites camps, we flick a message every now and then, just saying well done on certain achievements. But the relationship there is quite good. I flew over with him here to New Zealand on the flight, so the relationship's good.
Well, what's he like as a leader, I guess, in this team?
Yeah, people won't know obviously how he is in the camp, but I think I can speak for everyone. Is like he's very humble and he's just very good with everyone. He'll chat to everyone, even the new players coming in. To have a guy like Woodsy who's doing what he's doing is amazing for the team, but also for the environment. So I think people don't actually understand what he's doing over there. So it's good.
Yeah, because you've got your own big ambitions, but what's it like for you to see a fellow Kiwi doing what he's doing?
Yeah, 8 goals in 10, 11 games, adding on to what Baze said, it's like you're putting him up with the names of, Haaland and the top goal scorers in Europe. So to do that in the Premier League, and I think Forest are about 4th or 5th in the Premier League. So, to have him in every All Whites camp nearly, it's good for the squad and it's good for the teammates to, see a player in the Premier League wants to come and play for his country every time. So,
do you feel like his achievements go a bit under the radar back here because it's hard to maybe understand?
I think so, obviously football in Europe is a whole another thing. To see what he's doing and on a consistent basis as well for over about 10, 11 years, it's something you can't take for granted. So I think, maybe it is not seen as much as it is in Europe over here.
Just a question for Matt. Obviously, you've known a number of these players in the squad, like Marco, for a really, really long time. When you guys were young, playing together, did you ever talk about going to the World Cup together?
Yeah, funny enough, we were both playing, I think it was around, we were 11 or 12 years old, and we went to the Bahrain game with our parents, and we weren't far from each other. To know that a World Cup's coming up in 2 years and to see that group back in 2010 go, and to think that, we could be going to a World Cup soon is, you don't really, actually take that into perspective as much as you'd think. And, we're just extremely excited for the opportunity to come, and it can really, kickstart a lot of careers and do something for the nation as well, and see what other kids coming through can do in the following years. So,
any further questions from anybody? Cool. Well, thanks, Baze. Thanks, Matt. That was
All
great.
good. All good.
Cheers, everybody.
cheers.
Thanks, Ben.